type of warfare that has seen its uprising only in the recent centuries, though not to say it wasn't known for. Per usual, it was commonplace and tradition for wars to be classic organization into columns until the upper hand of sporadic warfare was realized, even by Sun Tzu in his book The Art of War. The first more known example of it can go back to the American Independence Wars and even to medieval times. For a conclusion, guerrilla warfare is a form of irregular warfare consisting of small groups of combatants, paramilitary personnel, armed civilians, and belligerents. So, let us put this in the scope of World Conquest. So here we are in 1948, the primal era of guerrilla warfare with options all over the place. As most may know, the Cold War is already raging in these years, which allowed these proxy war anti-communist groups to be armed inside of the Eastern Bloc by most often foreign intelligence agencies like the MI6 and in rare cases the USA's agencies. Here we can see many examples like the Gregorians, the Romanian anti-communist, Communist Party of Greece for a difference, which the belligerents of were armed by Soviet forces, in contrast to the ones armed by the West. There's also the Forest Brothers up in the north, which I will come to use for an example in the roleplay. So, when you are roleplaying in this era, research, even a little, is necessary, because every single revolution had its different standards, causes and armaments, among other important factors. One of the most important of which is geography, one which was heavily utilized in guerrilla warfare, as you can see even by the World Conquest map here. This Guerilla group was stationed along the mountainside. You can see this is all elevated terrain. Now, this was all logically a huge advantage. Now, finally, let me give you guys an example of roleplay on the Forest Brothers, where I will break down the roleplay. And the reason I'm doing this one is because the roleplay I will do here can be translated into many other groups, of course depending on the mentioned standards that are causes, standards, armaments, and etc. Alright, so now here we can see some roleplay and movement of said roleplay in the top left of the screen. As was said, the 2nd Minsk Battalion would move into battle towards the north, which should be emphasized upon roleplaying. After that, to add to the detail of the roleplay, specifications of what kind of weapons were used were added, giving a scope of who was in a vantage point among other things. As is illustrated on the World Conquest map, this would result in a setback. But now, let's see the roleplayed results of the battle. Now of course, in real roleplay you wouldn't paint anything blue and red, but that is there for illustration on the map. So finally, the finishing of the battle. The 2nd Rosen's company would suffer losses numbering around 100 people, that was specified as the 3rd in the roleplay, collapsing the company into a platoon. This was due to level grounds in stark comparison to the 3rd Rosnas, who were, as specified in the roleplay, engaging in attacks from high rising mountains, camouflaged in the forestry of the national park. On the top left was shown a retreat, and on the map how it would come to look like. So finally, we have proven our conclusion on guerrilla warfare made in the beginning of the video, and shown examples of how we would employ it. This situation here that was shown can be put into any context, but as mentioned many times before, you need to factor in who is supplying you, logistics in war, and if you have any reason for your revolt, be it you're doing alternate history. Reasons can range from high poverty to high crime rate, with the government not doing anything about such problems. If you are roleplaying in formation of a guerrilla group, you must build it up and gain support, most important of all. Anyhow, that would be it for today's guerrilla warfare video. Thank you very much for watching it till the end, and see you next time. On
kauniina muistona Karjalamaa, mutta vieläkin syömässä soinahtaa, kun soittajan sormista kuulla saa.
Säkkijärven polkkaa.
Se polkka taas menneitä mieleen tuo, ja se outoa kaiputa rintaan luo. Hei soittaja haitarin soida.